So getting dumped for no reason, it sucks. There's no doubt about it. Your ex just up and left, maybe fed you some vague bullshit like, I just need space, or it's not you, it's me, and now you're left scrambling for answers. Well, I've got some news for you. There's always a reason for a breakup. And today, I'm gonna tell you exactly what that could be. But first, let me burst your bubble. Your ex didn't just wake up one morning and decide to end things. That's usually not how breakups work. What actually probably happened is much more complicated. And understanding it could be the key to either getting them back or moving on for good. Now, before we dive in, if you're trying to get your ex back, I've created a free cheat sheet that lays out a simple yet potent approach to rekindling your relationship, one that's rooted in brutal honesty and that respects both your dignity and that of your ex. You can find a link to this resource, this free resource, in the description below. Now here's what really probably happened. Your ex, they had been plotting their exit for years, maybe even months, before they actually pulled the plug. And during this time, they were mourning your relationship, relinquishing their attachment, and mentally preparing themselves to leave. And here's the kicker. They were probably dropping hints about their decline in attraction the entire time. Maybe they even straight up told you what you were doing wrong and tried to help you fix things. But you were likely so intoxicated by your own high attraction, which I get it, it happens to most people, that you completely missed these signs, these signals. That is, until it was already too late. So this is why the breakup felt like it came out of nowhere to you. While for your ex, it was the natural conclusion to a probably long period of disconnection and doubt and thinking it all through. Now let me break down what these hints usually look like so you maybe don't repeat the same mistakes in your next relationship, be that with your ex or someone completely, well, brand new. First, there is emotional withdrawal. Your ex probably started sharing less about their day, their feelings, their struggles, and so on. The deep conversations you used to have probably became surface level small talk. Big red flag right there. Second, physical intimacy likely decreased. Now this one you can notice a bit more easily, thankfully. But I don't mean just sex, but also the small things like touches, kisses, and just casual physical contact that couples typically share. Third, your ex probably started prioritizing other things over spending time with you. So things like work, friends, hobbies, anything really to create distance without having to directly confront the issues. Fourth, their attitude toward you might have shifted from loving and patient to irritated and critical, sometimes even bitchy. So what I mean is that, let's say, the small things that never bothered them before, they suddenly became huge issues, huge recurring issues. So all of this is fine and good, but why has your ex actually left? Well, let me be just really upfront with you. There's a lot of different reasons. And while it's not even worth it, in my opinion, to really dwell on it too deeply, I can give you some of the more common reasons why exes leave their other ex or leave a relationship in general, and maybe you can find yourself in these reasons. Either that's one reason or multiple reasons. So first, an ex loses attraction. This is probably by far the most common reasons for breakups. Not because you became physically unattractive, of course, but because you likely displayed too many unattractive behaviors. Maybe you were needy. You stopped having your own life. You lost your sense of identity. You started putting them on a pedestal. You started to seek their validation too much. Second, you might have broken their trust somehow, perhaps through lying, hiding things, constantly accusing them of things they didn't do. Trust, once eroded, it's like a shattered plate. Really fucking hard to put back together. So that's another big reason relationships fail. Third, and this is the more painful one because you just don't have much control over it, your values and your goals in life might have diverged. Maybe they wanted marriage while you didn't. Maybe they wanted kids while you didn't. Maybe they were more career focused while you wanted to prioritize your relationship more. Maybe they wanted to live in the bustling, I don't know, suburbs of New York, and you wanted to live in some, I don't know, desolate village in the woods or something like that. Like, you get the point. These invisible incompatibilities often become real deal breakers over time. And fourth, and this one is more common than you might think, your ex might have been dealing with their own internal struggles that had nothing to do with you, directly at least. So, their depression, career stress, family issues, their own emotional baggage, these things can all lead someone to end a relationship, even if it's a good relationship. And last, your ex might have simply fallen out of love. Not because you did anything wrong, but because sometimes feelings fade despite our best efforts. It's a harsh truth, but it happens more often than most relationship experts want to admit. Now here's where most people fuck up. They see these signs but choose to ignore them. Because acknowledging them, it means facing the possibility that their relationship is really in trouble and probably over for good. So instead of that, they keep operating under the assumption that everything's fine, or they tell themselves that it's just a phase that will pass. But here's the thing, by the time your ex actually breaks up with you, they're usually already, as I alluded to earlier, emotionally disconnected. They have processed the end of their relationship while still being in it. That's the trick. And that's why they can appear so cold and distant during the breakup, because they've already done their fair share of grieving. So what does that mean for you? If you want your ex back, you need to understand that you're not starting from zero, you're starting from negative. Your ex has been likely unhappy for months, weeks, and any attempt to win them back needs to account for this accumulated emotional baggage. And this is why grand gestures, for example, or desperate attempts to change their mind immediately after the breakup usually fail. Your ex needs time to miss you, and you need time to actually address the issues, the deeper underlying issues that led to the gradual decline in attraction. And if you're trying to move on, well, understanding these things is really important, equally important than if you just want to mend a relationship, because it helps you see that the breakup wasn't some random cruel act, it was a result of a long process. And this can help you stop idolizing the relationship and start seeing it for what it really was. So that's it for this video. Again, if you want to learn how to go about getting an ex back, my philosophy and approach around it, go and download that reattraction cheat sheet that I mentioned. Link to it will be in the description below this video. And with that being said, this was Max signing out, and take care.